Sometimes, school needs to be about more than academics. In the San Diego area, more than 2/3 of children have experienced at least one traumatic event by the age of 16. And then there's chronic trauma, the ongoing struggle with abuse, hunger, and homelessness that many underserved kids endure. As each child's exposure to trauma increases, so does their risk for dropping out of school, or worse.
When I was a young educator, I had to go to over 10 funerals. And those were kids that took their own lives, kids that were murdered in gang violence, kids that were murdered by their own parents, and it was hard. What we've proven is that there are 15 to 20% of students, for whatever reason, that the traditional schools will never serve. And that's why we started to really operate this trauma-informed model to address some long-term issues where we could build emotional regulation. We could build self-efficacy. We could build responsibility, helping our kids understand what it takes to survive once they leave our doors.
Before Learn for Life, my life was honestly a mess. I had a lot of problems at home, and my grades were just going down and down. The SOULS program started. They were getting into what's actually going on in your mind, what's going on in your heart, and then eventually I broke down one day. Dana and Craig and Miss Mingo, they were all there, and they're like, we're here, and we're never gonna leave your side.
We had a young lady in our program, and she decided that she was going to end her life. And her plan was to drive to the Coronado Bridge and jump off the bridge. So what happened was, she sees this student-made sign, SOULS, and the class just happened to be starting in an hour. And for whatever reason, this young lady decided to go into that SOULS class. She, since that time, has graduated, become one of our student leaders, and is in place to become one of our alumni ambassadors as she goes to San Diego State to become a family therapist. So that's just one story. I could tell a lot, but that's one that really was impactful to me and made me understand that we're not just here to give diplomas. We literally are here to save lives.
There are tougher times in life that most people don't like to talk about. I grew up in a fairly abusive home. It's something you can't really get away from, I'd be sitting down and I hear a door and I wonder, is that my father coming for me? And I look and people just ask why I look and I'm like, oh, just see if there's anybody there. It helped me know that there's something wrong and then I can deal with it now. Now that it's out in the open, I can cast it out. It taught me to release my feelings, to finally express them and to, come at terms with them.
The demographics of a lot of these youth, not 100%, you can't broad brush, but there's a lot of suffering youth that walk through the door. Just got out of juvenile hall, might have just got out of prison, come from poverty. They are undocumented. They are refugees from war-torn areas. They've lived with domestic violence. And this school is a sanctuary. Learn for Life is a sanctuary.
Using a trauma-informed educational model, Learn for Life's trained educators teach students how to better cope with stress and trauma. In this supportive learning environment, students are empowered to move through their challenges and build resiliency, so they can succeed in school and beyond.
At Learn for Life, everything goes through a trauma-informed approach. So we help them deal with all the trauma they've gone through, and yes, we absolutely then deliver a very rigorous academic program. I've heard a lot about the achievement gap. I would contend what we really have is a trust gap, and many times kids do not trust anyone. Traditional public school, maybe a great teacher, but they have 220 kids. They do not have the time to build the relationship, let alone any kind of trust.
When you look at why our types of students are successful, it's because they have at least one self-attuned, loving adult in their lives. And I think what we realized is that for a lot of our students, we were it. That teacher was it. That tutor was that adult.
There was a teacher who helped me understand what I needed here, and his name is Mr. King. Mr. King, showed me how much freedom we have here and encouraged me to, pursue all the dreams that I had that I didn't even know were dreams.
I went from straight Fs to straight As. I went from like a .20 something GPA to over a 4.0.
When you can help people through that transformation of fully recognizing the power that they have, then they want to give back.
Before Learn for Life, I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. I didn't really even see a future. Now I want to be a counselor.
I want to go to college, start my family. I always wanted to be a lawyer. I talk a lot, I argue a lot. Feels like a great job for me. The reason people like me need this school is because this is changing our lives. It's not something cheesy that you can read on a bumper sticker. This is forming our lives. This is forming the people we are going to be.